Okay, so let's read this article. Meltdown. On January 3rd, 1961, 9 days after Christmas, Richard Leck, John Bynes, and Richard McLean were killed in a remote desert in eastern Idaho. The deaths occurred when a nuclear reactor exploded atop secret, based in the National Reactor Testing Station. Official reports state that the explosion and subsequent reactor meltdown resulted from the improper retraction of the control rod. When questioned about the events that occurred there, officials were reticent. The whole affair, in fact, was not discussed much and seemed to disappear with time. In order to grasp the mysterious nature of the NRTS catastrophe, it helps to know a bit about how nuclear reactors work. After all, the generation of nuclear energy may strike many as an exoteric process. However, given its relative simplicity, the way in which the NRTS reactor functions is widely comprehensible. In this particular kind of reactor, a cluster of 9-ton uranium fuel rods are positioned lengthwise around a central control rod. The reaction begins with the slow removal of the control rod, which starts a controlled nuclear reaction and begins to heat the water in the reactor. The heat generates steam, which builds pressure inside the tank. As pressure builds, the steam looks for a place to escape. The only place this steam is able to escape is through the turbine. As it passes through the turbine on its way out of the tank, it turns the giant fan blades and produces energy. So after reading the first two paragraphs, I will answer some related questions. First, as used in paragraph 1, which is the best antonym for recipient? So as I've looked this up earlier on the dictionary, the definition was not be able to express someone's feelings or thoughts easily. So probably the antonym is talkative, because talkative person is really energizing and be able to convey their feelings and thoughts much easier than those who are reserved or introverted. So yeah. As used in paragraph 2, which is the best definition for exoteric? Well, that's a new word for me, but I forgot or I overlooked this word earlier. What is this? Instead of for or likely to be understood by only a small number of people with a specialized knowledge or interest. So understood by feel. Okay. Based on information in paragraph 2, it can be understood that which of the following is directly responsible for energy production in a nuclear reactor. Oh, it's actually the turning of the turbine blades. Okay. Oh, it's actually talking about the direct responsibility of the energy production in the giant fan in the nuclear reactor. All of this is the indirect ways. Yeah, okay, I understand now. Which of the following literacy devices does the other use in passage? So I need to read the rest of them in order to figure out some rhetorical devices that are used in this passage. Okay. On the morning of January 3rd, after the machine had been shut down for the holidays, the three men arrived at the station to restart the reactor. The control rod needed to be pulled down only 4 inches to be reconnected to the automated driver. However, records indicate that Bernie's yanked it out 32 inches, over 5 times the distance necessary. In milliseconds, the reactor exploded. Lag was impaled on the ceiling. He will be discovered last. It took 1 week and a lead-shielded crane to remove his body. Even in full protective gear, workers were only able to work a minute at a time. The 3 men are buried in lead-lined coffins under concrete in New York, Michigan, and Arlington Cemetery, Virginia. The investigation took nearly 2 years to complete. Did Byrnes have a dark motive, or was it simply an accident? Do you know how precarious the procedure was? Other operators were questioned as to whether they knew the consequences of pulling the control rod out so far. They responded, "Of course, we haven't talked about what we would do if we were at radar station and the Russians came. We'd yank it out." Official reports are oddly ambiguous, but what they do not explain, gossip does. Rumors had that there was a tension between the men because Bernice suspected the other two of being involved with his young wife. There's little doubt that he, like the other operators, knew exactly what would happen when he yanked the control rod. Alright, so that's it. And let's read the description of each literary device. First, we have hyperbole, characterized by the use of specific words and phrases that exaggerate and overemphasize the core of the statement in order to produce a grander, more noticeable effect. This usually works to convey an action or sentiment that is generally not realistically possible or plausible, but helps to emphasize an emotion. So, the key thing here to take away from this is emphasize an emotion. I don't think that there's any paragraph describing any emotion emphasis, right? Yeah. Number 2, foreshadowing, characterized by the use of words or phrases that hint at something, typically something bad that is going to happen later in the story. This is done without revealing the story or spoiling the suspense. I think it is too, because, I don't know, but I have a feeling that it is too. Number 3, flashback, characterized by a depiction of specific events which have taken place before the present time in the narration. Yes, flashback devices that commonly used are past narratives by characters, depictions, and reversions of dreams and memories. Flashback is used to provide background information to the present situation, place, or person. I think 2 or 3. Yeah. As used in paragraph 4, which is the best synonym for precarious? I think it's risky. Let me guess first. It is risky because it fits best when being replaced by this word. But let me see. It's not. It is not securely held or in position, dangerously likely to fall or collapse. That's risky, right? Yeah. The other tone can be better described as neutral, dejected, sarcastic, haunting. Sarcastic, what does that mean? Sarcastics mean mocked by or given to using irony in order to mock or convey contempt. Dejected? Deject means to turn down something. Sad and depressed? No. There's no indication to tell that the others are depressed about this. So I think it's neutral because there's a subtle tone on this paragraph and it's not real clear and obvious. So it's haunting. Really? Okay, let me read the explanation. To identify the tone of the other, it is helpful to examine both the content and the other's language. The subject of the passage, which is mysterious deaths of the 3 young men due to nuclear explosion, is serious and even upsetting. The fact that the accident, by the way, if you don't know upsetting, it means to be sad or depressed, to causing unhappiness, disappointment, or worry. The fact that the accident could have been caused intentionally is even more unsettling. The author also uses words such as orderly, rumors, gossip, and dark. Because of the unsettling subject in the words, which hint at a mystery, we can describe the tone as haunting. Therefore, D is correct. The tone would be neutral if the other's language was different. However, The words such as oddly, rumors, gossip, and dark lend a mysterious feeling to the piece of that is not neutral. This means A is incorrect. Alright. As using the final paragraph, which is the best synonym for ambiguous? I guess it's A because I already know the definition of it. Yeah. Using the information in the final paragraph as a guide, which of the following statements would the other most likely agree with? No. It says already ambiguous, so it cannot be detailed and conclusive, right? No. No. Billionaires deliberately yank the control rod are dubious and uninteresting. Yeah, I did pass the test anyway. So yeah. So let's do another quiz because my goal for today was for each day is to complete at least two articles. Always about mysterious Egyptian pyramids. Okay. Okay, let's read. When you think of ancient Egypt, there's one image that probably comes to your mind first: pyramids. Egypt's pyramids were built nearly 5,000 years ago. They were designed as tombs for the kings, called pharaohs. The ancient Egyptians believed that their pharaohs were all sons of Ra, who was the god of the sun. When a pharaoh died, it was thought that his spirit would join his father Ra and all of the other gods in the afterlife. However, in order for the pharaoh's spirit to rise into the sky, his body had to be kept safe. If the pharaoh's body was damaged, he would not be able to make the journey into the sky. This would anger the other gods, causing them to punish the Egyptian people with diseases or natural disasters. The Egyptians thus carefully preserved the pharaoh's bodies and then sealed them inside the stone coffins known as sarcophagi. The pyramid itself was the final layer of protection, built out of enormous stones and filled with traps and secret passageways. The pyramids were designed to keep the pharaoh's body in and robbers out. These robbers were not actually interested in stealing a pharaoh's body. Instead, they were hunting for all of the treasures that were buried alongside of it. Pharaohs were laid to rest with jewelry, furniture, precious metals, jars, and expensive spices, fine clothing, pottery, and many other priceless items. According to the ancient Egyptian religion, the pharaoh need all of these things in the afterlife. If a grave robber stole the pharaoh's favorite pair of jewel-encrusted sandal, for example, then the pharaoh would not be able to wear them in the afterlife. A pyramid's unique shape was also probably designed to help the pharaoh's spirit reach the afterlife. Most Egyptian pyramids rest on a square base. Oh wait, let me answer this question. It's related to the passage number 3, which I've just read out loud earlier. Nope. Yeah. The shape of pyramids, so we need to continue reading because oh my god, this passage is really lengthy and long, so yeah. A pyramid's unique shape was also probably designed to help the pharaoh's spirit spirit reach the afterlife. Most Egyptian pyramids rest on a square base. Each side of the pyramid is a perfect triangle. The sides come together to form a point at the top of the pyramid. Some Egyptologists, experts on ancient Egypt, believed that the pyramid's pointed shape was meant to lead the pharaoh's spirit to the sky. Others think that this shape was modeled after something called a Benben stone. The Benben stone, which was pyramid-shaped, was found in many ancient Egyptian temples to Ra, the sun god. Historians believe that the Benben was meant to symbolize the raised sun as they fell on the earth. Because the pharaoh was thought to be the son of Ra, the pharaoh's tomb was modeled after the pyramid shaped Benben stone. Still others argue that the pyramid was simply the easiest shape to build because most of the weight at the bottom, pyramids can be both very tall and very sturdy. The bigger and sturdier the pyramid was, the more difficult it would be for grave robbers to get inside. So this can be answered for the next question. According to the passage, the shape of pyramid places most of the weight at the bottom. Yes. Yeah. Might have been based on a special tone. Was originally designed by Pharaoh Khufu. Wait, there's no such mention of Khufu, so we need to continue reading in order to figure out this detail. Right? Yeah. It's already 1 and 2 is correct, but I really doubt if 3 is correct too. Although we have evidence of over 100 pyramids in Egypt, the 3 largest ones still standing were built in the city of Giza. The biggest of the 3 is known as the Great Pyramid. Not only is it the largest pyramid in the world, it is also the only one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world that still exist, built for Pharaoh Khufu. The Great Pyramid stood over 480 feet tall when it was first built. It was almost as tall as a 40-story building. In fact, the Great Pyramid of Khufu was the tallest building in the world until 1311, when the Lincoln Cathedral was built in England. This means that for over 3,800 years, there was no man-made structure on Earth taller than the Great Pyramid. Khufu's pyramid is impressive for other reasons as well. Each side of the pyramid is 756 feet long. It is made of over 2.3 million stones. Each of these stones weighed nearly 3 tons. Oh my goodness. The entire pyramid, just multiply this. 2.3 million stones, and each stone is 3 tons. So 3 million. Okay, let me just multiply and do the calculations. Okay. Since my iPad doesn't have the calculator device, so I need to use an online one. Calculator. Okay, so 3 tons multiply 2.3 million, right? So it's mean that. Oh my goodness, it is like 6.9 million tons. It's definitely really heavy and so huge. Oh my god, it's so majestic. Anyway, the entire pyramid weighs over 6.5 million tons. I've just multiplied this is 6.9 to be exact. If based on this statistic, when the pyramid was first built, it was covered in thousands of pounds of smooth white limestone rock that shone in the sun. Okay. Was originally designed by Pharaoh Khufu is not true. It is built to preserve Pharaoh Khufu's body, but not designed by this Pharaoh. So only 1 and 2. Based on the way it is in paragraph 6, which is the best antonym for massive. Okay, so the following paragraph, the ancient Egyptians did not have any modern tools, vehicles, or machines. In fact, they did not even have the wheel. So how were the ancient Egyptians capable of making such a massive building? Well, I do have the same question as this, because it is such a tall and it is like 40-story building. However, how can ancient Egyptians be able to build such a long and tall building without having any wheel or any assistance from the outside? So that's really weird. Massive, by the way, means oh wait, it is antonym. So puny? I mean, puny have the same meaning as tiny, right? Yeah. The answer is no one really knows for sure. Some experts believe that the ancient Egyptians may have used a large ramp. Others think that they used a system of locks and ropes. Some others even believe that the ancient Egyptians had help from aliens. Oh my god, that is so lame. There's no such aliens in this world. While we cannot be certain how the pyramids were built, historians agree on one thing. Building of the pyramids required thousands of workers. Using the passage as a guide, we can understand that which the following had led some people to believe that aliens helped the ancient Egyptians to build the pyramids. Okay. Some historians we do not know the exact number of people who worked on the pyramids. Some historians estimate that it took 20,000 workers. Others suggest that it took as many as 100,000. Although people once believed that slaves built the pyramids, there is a good deal of evidence to suggest that this is not the case. Archaeologists recently discovered the remains of workers' camps located near the pyramids. Animal bones near these sites suggest that the workers ate a lot of meat, something that only reasonably wealthy Egyptians could afford to do. Archaeologists also discovered evidence of family homes, bakeries, and decorative pottery in the camps, all things that slaves probably would not have had. These and other discoveries have led Egyptologists to believe that pyramids were built by skilled Egyptian workers who were paid well for their efforts. The Egyptian pyramids remain quite mysterious. We do not know exactly who built them or how they were built. Time, thieves, and earthquakes have damaged many of them. Nearly all the shining limestone rock that one uncovered in the pyramids have been stolen or destroyed. Most of the treasures that once filled the pyramids are long gone. Even though the pyramids are not as magnificent as the ones were, they are still a source of fascination. Millions of tourists from around the world come to visit the pyramids every year. Egyptologists also continue to study them, hoping to find answers to some of the history's greatest and oldest mysteries. In paragraph 7, the author mentions that archaeologists found animal bones near a pyramid. According to others, these bones suggest that based on the information in the final paragraph, we can understand that the authors think that I did pass the test. It's quite easy and comprehensible, so yeah. Let's see my progress. I think the level of this is around 1000. I knew it. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.